Hi, I'm Crystal, and thank you so much for joining me on the Warrenist Live, where we celebrate the arts, culture, lifestyle, and people of Warren County, North Carolina, and beyond. Now, before we get started, I would love for you to like, comment, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're everywhere, okay? Today I am so excited about this interview because I have known him for what's it been over 20 years. We met in high school.
Yes.
So just recently reconnected on Facebook, and I just went back. You know how we do. We connect with someone on Facebook and then we go back and look at their history, see what's been going on. So I was so excited. I'm so proud of all the wonderful things that he's doing. And I wanted to have him on the show today because I wanted to celebrate all of those wins. I wanted the community to celebrate those wins with him. So my guest today is Marcus Kearsey. He is the epitome of the multi hyphen. He is an award winning choreographer, he's an actor, he's a model, and overall, he's just a nice guy. Okay, you
Thank
will
you.
see that today. So thank you so much for joining me today, Marcus. How are you? How have
I'm
you been?
I'm doing well, thank you very much. Busy like I know everyone else is, so kudos to you guys for just keep going. And I just want to give a special thank you to you, Crystal, and the Warrens for having me. I really, really appreciate it. It's always good to connect and reconnect with people and just know what's going on with everybody. Everyone's so busy and get caught up into what you're doing, but I want to give you a shout out and say congratulations to you and all that you're doing in the community as well. So congratulations to you. That's great. Keep up.
Oh, thank you. I wasn't
Well,
expecting that.
well,
Got me blushing.
no, no problem.
Okay, so like I said, I've known for a while. Gosh, see, you threw me off already.
I'm
I wasn't
sorry.
expecting a
Not my
compliment.
intention.
That's okay. But no, seriously, but let's just start right from the beginning. So you're from Hollister, correct?
That's correct. I'm from
Right.
Hollister,
So
North Carolina, very small, very country town. Either you're related or you know people through people or everyone knows everyone pretty much. So it's not too much getting away with stuff without it, kind of good or bad, whatever. Everyone knows everyone, protects everyone. It's just a small country town, farming, tobacco, gardens, that kind of things, the sawmill, that kind of stuff, Arcola. So yeah,
mm,
that's why I'm born and raised. Yeah.
right. So what would you say is your fondest memory growing up in this area?
Oh wow. Goodness. Um, Bus rides were fun because, like I said, I'm from Hollister, so um, one way um, to take the bus to school was like an hour and a half every morning.
Hmm.
Um, so of course you get on the bus, people that are on that before you, or some get on after. And there was always a way to just kind of like let it all hang out and just enjoy each other before the school day started. So that was always good, especially when you started to ride the high school bus because it's like, okay, I'm a little bit more legit now. I'm getting more mature. I can feel like I'm kind of cool a little bit more. So that was good. But I really enjoyed the summertime too. I'm a country boy at heart. So it was nothing for me and my sister. We were very close. We were only like 17, 18 months apart. So we always had each other. So we would make up games and just play around the yard or whatever. Or my friends would come over, make up games, ride bikes. My cousins get on the four wheelers, make trails and stuff like that. So just being around family, being out around friends, having sleepovers, playing video games, stuff like that that I enjoyed in my leisure.
Right, right. And so you mentioned in your bio, I was going to read your bio, but
Yeah.
then when it was like 2.5 pages long, I said, that's like the whole entire show. So I was going to
I'm
break it
sorry.
down.
Yeah, it's kind
No,
of
this,
lengthy. I actually forgot and after the fact still and left some stuff out. So yeah, you're good. You're
oh
fine.
my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, but you mentioned that growing up, that creative expression and being artistic and that was encouraged in your household. So tell me more about that.
Yes, yes. I come from a very creative and musical family. Um, my grandmother, my mom's mom, played the piano for church, and she played like for three different churches, all at one time. So we grew up, of course, we are Christians, Baptist Christians, and
Mm,
so it seemed like in a good way. Every time the doors open, we were there. So we were like the first ones there, the last ones to leave. So we were always around like music, writing, creating, whether it be gospel, of course, or even like Mahalia Jackson or the Jacksons, or I mean from one end of the spectrum to the other. We were exposed to so much, and it was encouraged because I would see it and see how my grandmother would play piano, and she didn't read music. She learned she played by ear,
Oh,
and my mother and my aunt both play by ear as well. So I guess it just kind of naturally was in us, I guess, growing up. So it was always like you find something that you enjoy, that you like, you stick with it, you work hard at it, and if that's what you really want to do, you'll end up doing it. And so I think that's really where I kind of started um, within the performing arts, even at that age. Yeah.
right. So I can definitely relate to the whole church thing, like growing up
Yeah.
in the church,
Yes.
going multiple times a week.
Multiple
Feels like you're
times.
going every
Don't let it
day.
be anniversary or something, or like homecoming
Revival.
to revival. BBS was fun though. Vacation Bible School was cool. That was really
Hmm.
cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where my roots are definitely.
Okay. Now you mentioned like with your family playing the piano. Now, can you play any instruments too?
I I'm a little rusty now, to be honest. When I was a kid, I started to learn to play piano like my mom and my grandmother, but I kind
Hmm.
of got away from that a little bit. I started a little bit on guitar, just a little bit, but I put it back down. So as far as instruments, I would love to get back into it a little bit more.
Hmm.
Um, but that's kind of been on the back burner now for a while. So hopefully one day, sooner or later, I'll get back into some more instruments. Definitely.
Right. And so I definitely want to get into your interest in dance. Now, how did that get started?
Wow. Uh, I think it was something that was really already in me. I just obviously didn't know. But there was, like I said, there was music all around all the time. So there was, we listened to a lot of, rap, like with my older brother. There was R&B. There was, classical. But I remember being 5 years old, and my oldest brother had a birthday party, and my first memories of this song was Janet Jackson's "What Have You Done for Me Lately." And
Hmm.
so I was used to listening to like the Jacksons, Janet Michael, Prince, Sheila E. The whole nine, that funk, Minneapolis sound with like
Right.
Flight Time, the time before they branched off. So I remember standing in the living room, and I just started to move. I started to dance, and I really just enjoyed it so much. And I was about 5 years old, and I remember it just like it was yesterday. And
Mm.
I would go to my cousin's house, and at the time, we didn't have cable; they had cable, so all of MTV and VH1 and the music videos would come on, and I watched
Uh-huh.
music videos, and I would start to mimic the movements and look at the choreography from beginning to end. And so we ended up getting a VCR one time, and my cousin would record the videos, and I would play them over and over again until I started learning them. And so one Christmas, I got Janet Jackson had just come out with a Design of a Decade VHS, and
Hmm.
Rhythm Nation. I loved the video, and that was the first routine I learned. Definitely, um, I was about 10 years old, 11 years old.
Wow. So now, how long does it take you to learn a routine?
Uh, it varies. It varies honestly, because a lot of music, a lot of songs are uh, they're beautiful, they're arranged beautifully, but they're so intricate and technical. So to hear it's like, oh, that has a good beat. Oh yeah, I'm feeling that. That's good. But when it comes to break down the dance, you look at it and it looks easy, but you're trying to coordinate what the arms are doing, what the legs are doing uh,
Hmm.
at the same time, or back beats, ad libs, because you're just playing. You're not just playing off of the music. Sometimes it's the music, sometimes it's the voices, or both. So I remember Rhythm Nation took me about 3 weeks, I want
Hmm.
to say, but it varies. Honestly, I think what took me probably the longest to do before was I hate to say it, but "If" by Janet Jackson. I'm trying not to be biased, but that's one of my favorite things and songs by her. So
Mhm.
yeah, it varies. It varies.
Right, but I mean, anyone who knows you knows Marcus. He and Janet Jackson are one and the same.
Oh yeah,
Look, let me tell you, anytime, I mean, to this day, like I said, I've known Marcus for over 20 years.
yes,
To this day, if I hear any type of Janet Jackson news, like if she's going on tour, she has a new album out,
right,
the Hall of Fame,
yeah.
any Janet news, I immediately think of Marcus, like to this day.
I cannot tell you how many people still, as you say, 20 plus years later, because I mentioned the high school bus um, earlier, and I would have my Walkman on the bus. Of course, we played the cassette tapes back then, and everyone
Right.
knew when I put the headphones in and started playing with oh God, I know what he's listening to or whatever. And it was like joking, but in a playful way. They're like, I know what you're listening to. Oh God, here we go again, or whatever. And that's really what started to inspire me.
Mhm.
And it's funny, like I said, you say that because I'll still hear people or they'll message me, Marcus, I wanted to send you this. I heard something about Janet, or I saw Janet, and I'm like 20 plus years later, and people are still remembering that about me. So, and then I want to say I'm so sorry for everybody that I put through. Like, God, endless Janet, like, he's playing it again, he's dancing to it again, he's learning again.
Mhm.
Because like I mentioned earlier, like with sleepovers and stuff like that, we play like video games, racing car games and stuff. But
Mhm.
at some point, I'd be like, hey, listen to listen to this guitar riff, or check out this scene in this video, this breakdown, and they're looking at me like, dude, we don't care about that. Like, can we just go to the game or eat or do whatever? So it was always so funny to me, but they never judged me in a bad way. They just let me uh, do my thing. So yeah, pretty cool.
Mm, yeah, but I mean, that's understandable. I mean, that's Janet Jackson.
I
You
mean,
know,
like I said, I was trying not to be biased, but Janet is Janet, okay? Like, and I will admit, I probably had a little bit of a problem back then because it was just too much. But when you're young, you don't really like understand. You just know you like this person and you know why.
mhm,
But it was just like when you get older, like kind of balance a little something out. Might be a little unhealthy, just chill back a little bit. And then I was learning more about the artists and music and stuff too, so I branched out a little bit.
right. But I mean, your interest was in dance, so I mean, she's an incredible artist. But then
Yeah,
you watched Janet
I
Jackson
watched it.
videos.
I watched
You
it. That's how I learned.
know,
That's how I
mhm,
learned. And started to follow not just the Jacksons, but like her career and like what she's done, um,
mhm,
how she grew into what she's coming to learning dance and being creative. That's
mhm.
really where I started to kind of study and look into how I could possibly do that.
Right, but even as someone who has, this is rhythmless nation right here.
No,
I
don't say
cannot dance.
that.
No, I cannot
Yeah,
dance.
no,
Even
no.
though like the
Everyone I
TikTok
feel like has
dance.
some rhythm. You just gotta find it and find out what works for you and find your niche. So hey, so or if you know some people I know or like my friends, if they get the right thing, then they're like, okay, I can do a two-step now, but give me a little something to kind of move to or whatever. So it's always fun.
Mhm. That's great, but no, I don't think it applies to me.
So
I don't think it applies.
we'll have to
Alright,
get together and I'll see. I'll teach you
okay.
some.
I would look, y'all heard that. Imma hold him to
Yeah,
it.
not a
Yeah,
problem. Not
yeah.
a
So, and I wanna go back actually, I wanna go back a little bit.
yeah.
So after high school, we, graduated from Warren County High School, Eagle
Yeah,
Pride,
Eagle Pride, Eagle Pride. Oh
and
one.
we can look past that. Oh 02, that's fine.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, yeah.
Respect. It's all Eagles though.
It's all thank
All
you, it's all Eagles, right?
all Eagles.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so after high school, what did you do? Where'd you go?
Um, High school was really cool. I went through this thing to where I felt like I hit this crossroads because it's like great we were branching out, we were graduating, school or military or going, but I hit this thing where what do I really want to do? Like most people don't know this, but I actually almost went to the Marine. I had started going to field meetings and preparing to take the practice ASVAB, and all of a sudden I said, I don't think I want to do that right now. Like I think I want to just still focus on school and education, academics, but still do something with performance arts and the arts and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
thinking I was ready to go off to a four-year institution, I was glad I didn't. I actually went off to Nash Community College in Rocky Mount and studied there and got my associate arts degree. I was there for 2 years, um, and that's when I think I really broke out of my shell a little bit because their SGA started to hold talent shows.
Mhm.
So I said, okay, well, I'll just enter and see what happens. And I entered that first year there, and I ended up placing second, which was really kind of nice. It was so unexpected
Mhm.
because there were really some really good talented people that had singers, dancers, people read poetry, and so I went into this thing. I said, I'll just try it. I still enjoy it whether I win or not, and I ended
Mhm.
up placing second. And for the next like consecutive years, I think I ended up placing that following year third, and then I was first place like couple times after that. So I was still studying, still working part time. I had two part-time jobs. I was in school full time and still finding some time to dance and create stuff too.
Okay, so what goes into like creating a routine? Like, what's that process?
Let's see. The process for me is I have to I have to connect with it. Like I have to feel it spiritually. Like most times, I love music, but music oftentimes I'll listen to the lyrics and the lyrics or the music in conjunction are telling a story. So I feel like, okay, what in my head can I put together movement wise uh, to this piece?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll think of things in my head and combinations and what have you. And then sometimes it'll be like, oh, yeah, that was good. But when I actually go try to flush it out, I'm like, oh, that's not going to work. That's not okay. So the whole coordination, like I said earlier, of the head and the arms and legs doing stuff, but still coordinating with the music and the lyrics and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, too, what inspires me? Like I've done performances before where like it's been weddings,
Mm-hmm.
it's been other like events and dinners and stuff like that. And so depending upon what the person wants to see and what they want me to do, I'll just kind of create it around that as well. So it varies. I'm inspired by many things, spiritually, nature, stuff like that. So it varies.
Okay. Now, can you still hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I don't know what just happened.
It's okay.
Give me 1 second. No, you know what? I'm gonna continue to talk to you till I figure this out.
Not a problem.
Like you said, that dancing is a spiritual thing. So
Yeah.
I kind of like joked on it earlier, but like the TikTok dances,
Yeah.
like as a professional,
Uh-huh.
like what is your opinion of people that get into these like TikTok dances?
Oh boy, you've asked a loaded question there.
Uh-oh, I'm
Let me be
sorry.
careful how
I'm
I
glad
answer
I'm
it
off
though.
camera
This is
then.
just my opinion though.
Okay.
Social media has been a great thing for so many people. I feel like it's made people connect from and family years ago and schoolmates and stuff like that, classmates also. But
Mhm.
oftentimes, in regard to your specific example, TikTok, I feel like it's like instant fame and people oftentimes go off of what's trending. So
Mhm.
you'll do something just to get like comments, likes, or attention and stuff like that. So if you're doing it just to have fun and what have you, like that's great. And not that there aren't really talented dancers that are doing things on there, but for me, um, it's beyond that. Like anyone can learn a dance, I feel, or anyone can dance and look kind of cool. And yeah, I'm flossing and doing this. But for me, I have a really huge respect for dance and I respect its history and when it's done for me and for other people. So For me, it oftentimes makes me question. Uh, yes, that's great, but at the same time, can you go out and actually perform? Do you have stage presence? What's your booking process like? Can you go beyond the likes and the comments and what people say and what's cute and what's trending? Do you really have, that that foundation, that grit, you know?
Okay. Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can still hear you.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to ask you a loaded question.
Oh
You
no,
know,
and don't get me wrong, to everybody, that knows me, they know kind of my opinion on that. And it's not all bad. It really isn't. But for me, um, sometimes I feel like it's microwavable talent or microwavable people. Like it's instant. Okay, that's popular. It's trending. Okay, I'm gonna do this, and now you have all these millions of followers. Where there are people in the past, obviously 80s and 90s, early 2000s, didn't have all that same thing. They had to work extra hard. Obviously, it wasn't given to them, and it didn't happen overnight either. So
right.
that's my opinion on that.
Right. Okay. So, okay, I guess my camera's coming back eventually. We'll see. But I definitely want to get into you've actually participated in pageants. Can you tell me about that?
I have. Let's see. This was probably early to mid 2000s, and I had a buddy of mine that went to Elizabeth City State University, and he let me know that they were having at the time it was a Mr. and Ms. Elizabeth City State University pageant. Of course, they were trying to pick a young man and a young woman to represent the school, and he asked me to be a judge because he needed an extra one. So I was like, okay, I'll go down there. I'll be a judge. So I did that. I enjoyed it. It was great. I got to meet people and kind of network and stuff like that. But outside of that, after that was done, they had another one come up. It was the Mr. and Ms. Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated pageant. And here I go again, back down to Elizabeth City. And it just started to kind of become a thing. So I did a couple of pageants there where I was the judge. But my name got, I guess, connected with somewhere someone like heard about me and asked me to actually run to compete in a pageant. So um, I said, okay, that'll be fun. I feel like I have some things to offer, the community and growth and young men, just youth in general, young women. So I actually ran for Mr. Um, Black North Carolina back in 2009. Yeah, yeah. Can you hear me? Hello, Crystal. Are you here?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes,
All
you're
right.
back.
So I guess my camera's acting up. Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, so you also a judge at one point too, correct?
You said, I'm sorry?
You were a judge?
Yes, I was a judge on the first couple of pageants, and then for the third pageant, which was the um, Mr., Mrs., and Ms. Black North Carolina pageant, I actually competed in that one. I actually ran. I actually had people that I ran against for that one, in the third one. So that was pretty interesting. It was
Okay.
different being a judge versus actually competing. So yeah.
Right. Okay. So I have to use a different camera. It's okay. Ignore the mess in the background. But yeah, so I mean, you definitely have done a lot, and I mean, we haven't even scratched the surface, So but you definitely you got into modeling. Tell me about the modeling career.
Oh boy. Uh, well, like I said, I'll put it like when I was a child, there were many things that I wanted to kind of do in life. My friend now teases me like, "What didn't you do? Or what didn't you want when you were an adult?" And I used to do these sketches. I used to draw. I love to draw and paint when I was young too.
Mhm,
And I would draw and sketch these like clothes and designs and like different styles and stuff like that. And
mhm,
I said one day I wanted to have my own clothing line or make it where I wanted to model. And even back then I was a little short. They used to call me like shorty or short fry, whatever. So I said I might not even ever have a runway career or like high fashion or anything. But at the same time, it was cool. So fast forward, uh, to what? Right after the pageants, um, it was the organization called Pro Scout. That's talent that was scouting for talent, and
Okay.
they were looking for not just dancers but models and stuff like that. I had another buddy of mine, and he had his own photography studio, and I asked him to do some shoots for me, and he did, and I sent him in, and they got submitted, and I got callbacks like within like a few months, telling me that I was a finalist and to come down to Atlanta to compete with like all these other young men and young women. So that started kind of catapulted that,
Hmm.
and then it just I got another talent scouting. Probably a good maybe 3 or 4 years after that as well, and
Hmm.
that's when I forced myself to start getting comfortable in front of the camera because I don't know what you guys think, but it's definitely hard work. Sometimes it looks easy, but for me to have been or get comfortable with me being on this side of the camera and someone just staring at me,
Uh-huh.
and it's like, oh man, I'm just out here, I'm vulnerable, I don't know what to do, my arms too long, whatever. But that took practice, and it takes practice. It takes some time to do that, and so I came across, you know, uh, a filmmaker buddy of mine who had this photographer shoot do for his project. Um, Alan Lux Studios is
Hmm.
photographer for that. And I reached out to him one day and wanted some new like headshots and some other like artsy stuff, and we
Hmm.
collaborated together. And I've now have done I think maybe 3 projects with him, because he has his own clothing line, and he's put out like I think 3 or 4 publications already, and he's asked me to be a part of those. And then there is a buddy of mine in Africa. His name is Silas Silmicki, and he started to make and create natives, their casual outfits for young men, and he started, of course, making some for young women as well, and asked
Hmm.
me to kind of be the guy to model those because he looked at me when he was like, "You look really good at this." I was like, "No, it's okay, whatever." But he stuck to it and kept at me and kept at me, and
Uh-huh.
so got together and collaborated on some stuff. And what he didn't know was I already had done the shoot, and
Uh-huh.
I just sent him the pictures and asked him what he thought. No, no, I take that back. I didn't send him. I just told him I was going to surprise him. And so that's how the modeling thing came about, really. Just wanting to help people, but knowing that I enjoy that as well. Promoting
Hmm.
marketing projects and garments and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Okay, see. Go ahead on with your handsome self.
Oh, wow.
That makes it a whole lot easier, right?
I appreciate it. Well, I mean, it works, I guess.
Mhm.
I think I look okay. It works. I guess to your point, yeah, that is a certain factor of it. Like, can you sell this thing, or can you market promote it? Do you have this look? And
Right.
sometimes you may not, and so there are certain
Mhm.
no's you may get, or you set out to do certain things, and it might not be at that time, but that doesn't mean you stop. You keep going.
Right. And so I want to actually go back to I want to revisit the dancing, the choreography.
Yes,
So within the last couple of years, you actually received an award. And I
yes.
definitely want to talk about that. And congratulations
Thank you so
again
much.
on
I
winning.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you to Future Highlights, definitely, and thank you to the ACE Awards. That was the one that was recently given to me, I think, yeah, last year. And then the CAFA Project, which is a nonprofit, thanks to Brian. Um, but yeah, I guess that Crystal is crazy because I didn't remember I had done so much, and then when I think back about it, I was like, where did the awards come from? Okay, so at the Y, Ready to Dance was led by Marcus McLeod. I started dancing there, and slowly just kind of moved up to the front of the class and
Mhm.
started to choreograph more and come out of my shell a little bit more. And that routine won Routine of the Year that year. But
Okay.
what I didn't know was that other people had submitted my name for an award I had knew nothing about, which is the feature highlights. That was 2015. So I
Wow.
was nominated for like a few years consecutively, and I actually won in 2017 for choreographer of the year. That was my official, I guess, personal feature highlight. And
Mhm.
again, just doing my thing, not really thinking about it. And I was
Mhm.
nominated again last year, and I ended up winning. And I was just so thankful, so appreciative. And I've done stuff like in between that as well, like
Mhm.
stuff, of course. I've done weddings. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, I've helped choreograph wedding receptions. Like the wedding party, where I usually
Mhm.
kind of do something kind of different for her girls or the whole guys number. So I
Mhm.
think I've done like 3 or 4 weddings too. As well. So I guess with everything, people had thought about what I had done. And like, I wanted to
Mhm.
be part of something. So, and I ended up winning. So
Right. So, do you have like a favorite like dance style or?
uh, I like contemporary. I love modern. It's so expressive. And like when I said earlier about being spiritual, uh,
Mm-hmm.
that was a breakthrough for me because I'd never done it before. I'd seen it and had looked so much into, of course, Alvin Ailey. It's just amazing. And his company and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. And I said, I want to do that. I want to do that. And like I said, it's easier said than done. So once I started to break into more modern, contemporary stuff, I had to
Mm-hmm.
use my body in certain ways that I hadn't used before, comparisons like hip hop and stuff like that. So if I could pick one, yeah, a couple, probably contemporary modern and some hip hop, definitely. But something about funk just does something like percussion,
Uh-huh.
guitar, and some like club, like
Mm-hmm.
that combination with some percussion and stuff that really gets me going.
Yeah, it just hits different.
It does. It does.
Mm-hmm.
Alfred, honestly, Alfred. This sounds crazy. I'll forget where I am. Like I know I'll tease my mom about it because she likes to dance too. She's a really great dancer. My dad was too. But the music gets into me and it moves me so, and I just I'm so wrapped up in the sound and the movement. Like I wouldn't forget where I am. It's just I'm so focused and trained.
Just zoned in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can see that. I could definitely see that. Yeah. Yeah, getting lost in the music and how it connects, and like you
Yeah,
said, it's a spiritual thing. You just lose. Yeah.
definitely.
I see. So as long as
Definitely.
you're not just like busting out, like doing some like funk stuff in church, maybe. I guess
Okay,
that's okay.
okay.
Oh,
Because
oh no, that's
those
nice.
churches don't. I respect church, but when they come up with them this bass guitars and it's anniversary stuff going on, and
Right.
back in the day, like what we used to like, it's they can throw down now. They can throw down.
Yeah, that's true. I've seen. Yeah, that is true.
You know what I'm talking about?
I, I know what I'm talking. Look, Baptist church. Come on now.
Right, right.
All right. So, yeah, we talked about the dancer. We talked about the modeling. Let's get into the acting.
Oh,
So, how did that come about?
uh, that came about a little bit after the dancing, actually. I
Okay.
told you about being 5 years old and kind of
Mm-hmm.
starting in music and dance and stuff. I was in the 4th grade at Hawkins Elementary, and
Hey, Hawkins.
yeah, represent.
Mm-hmm.
And the music teacher at the time, her name is Miss Keezer. I'll never forget her.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like Night of the Arts or winter concert, something was coming up. And she came to me one day just to myself. And she said, I want you to be the and I love you forever and ever. And I said, what is it? She said, I would love for you to be part of our winter concert program. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm like people, like, I don't want to say anything on the She's like, you don't have to say anything. I just want you to be your cute self. And I was like, what do you mean? What does that be your cute self mean?
You
And
gotta be,
so
you gotta be careful with
she
that. The
asked me to
teacher.
dress up in this penguin costume.
Uh-huh.
And I was a penguin for Night of the Arts. It was like the winter. So they had like everything was like winter-esque themed type or what have you. So she said, all you
Uh-huh.
have to do is walk out in front of everyone, stop and do a greeting and wave, and then go off the stage. And I said, that's it? Okay, I can do that. So I did that, but it was something behind it that I really enjoyed. I said, I don't know if it was the adrenaline or the people or the connection that I had. And
Uh-huh.
I was about 8 years old then. And the next year, there was a stage play that we had also done at Hawkins that told about the life of Sojourner Truth.
Mm,
And I ended up being in that too. I forgot the character's name, but I enjoyed playing that character. I learned new lines,
mhm,
stage direction and stuff like that. So that's really where I started the acting. So I really started theater first, and
mm,
after that, went on to middle school, high school. Um, I started taking theater arts class with Miss Emmy Lou Coleman,
mhm,
uh, which is ironic because I loved her classes because I had her for English too. So it was almost like it was connected together
mhm.
for me. And so it's just amazing how I thought I was just too shy. I thought I would never want to do it. And she said, "We're gonna work with you. Everyone has to get up. Everyone has to do it. You're gonna do it too." And I was like, it's for a grade. I have no choice. Got to do it.
Right?
So what helped break me into that even more was
Mhm,
uh, doing improv. Like we
mhm,
would learn all about theater history and staging, blocking, and stuff like that. But she opened the door one day as we came back from lunch, and she said, "Everybody has to pick something out of the hat." And so we picked something out of the hat, and she said,
mhm.
pick whatever you picked up on this piece of paper is what you have to act out. You have 10 minutes to prepare. Go." And I said,
Mhm.
"Oh, I think I had something like someone who would just stepped on a piece of gum while like walking down the street or something like that.
Mhm. Uh,
Saw the person who did it, but did yeah. So it became this long drawn out thing of me like trying to track the guy down and like, how dare you drop gum on the sidewalk, and now my shoes are messed up. These are my fly kicks and like whatever. So it was cool. It was fun. So that really helped me with theater and just learning about the history. And we ended up doing a couple of projects for my junior year, and then by my senior year, you probably remember the project we did for senior year in high
refresh
school,
my memory.
the not so final dress rehearsal.
Mm.
It was I'm not going to call any names because they might get on me, but it
Uh-oh.
was myself and two other guys
Okay.
that had to end up playing female parts, but it was all part of the joke. It was a play within a play.
Uh-huh.
So the play was about a group of high school students that were having to put on the play Cinderella, but they didn't have enough girls to play the part, so guys had to end up doing it. So it was myself and like two other guys, and I
Uh-huh.
ended up not only having to, you know, do the project, which was like my final grade
Mhm.
for that whole semester, but I ended up having to play the fairy godmother, and I will never
There's
forget.
there's got to be pictures
Uh,
somewhere.
does that ring a bell to you at all?
No, but I'm gonna do some research.
Oh God,
I'm gonna do a little digging.
it was just crazy because it was a comedy and it was fun and everyone came in. We had like a prompter and a stagehand and all this kind of stuff. But uh, it had a director and we had to go to play Cinderella. That Cecilia Jones played
Mhm.
Cinderella. So it was and Harley's was the stepmother, Harley's Magruder. So it was funny, but it was like I'm playing a woman, like a girl. Like how am I supposed to like do it and then be funny and then be comfortable, but not really. So
Right.
I learned how to be funny and
Mhm.
humorous too, all within the theater process. So it's all about
Mhm.
what we're doing and timing and stuff like that. Still having the maleness come through, even with long blonde hair and wings and a tiara on, and but it was fun. I think we all pretty much ended up with like high grades on that one. I passed, so that was all that mattered. So.
That's what matters, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and then I
Yeah,
went
after
to,
this
like I
is
said
over.
earlier, at Nash Community College, they started teaching drama classes and stuff too. And I got
Okay.
my last year there, uh, the male lead in
Hmm.
what used to be Ten Little Indians. It was now turned into, and then there were none by Agatha Christie. And I ended up playing Captain Philip Lombard. So that was, by that time, I'd already taken public speaking. So that helped a great deal too with breaking me out of my shell a little bit, not being shy and actually on the stage. Better get up there and do what you're gonna do, deliver, and keep it moving. So yeah,
Hmm.
that's how the theater just kind of was born
Mm,
and everything. So then, like I said, my director and writer friend that I mentioned earlier uh,
mm,
has had these castings, and I started to submit to the castings. I started being in his web series when it
mm,
came to because I transitioned from theater to film, which is totally different, of course. So theater, of course, you're in that moment, you have that adrenaline, like
mm-hmm.
you're feeding off of each other, and you know you're feeding off of the audience and stuff. You don't have any chance to mess up. With
Right.
film, it's like okay, we're gonna do this angle, and then you'll do it. I don't know how many times to get it, and then you'll do the scene. So it's definitely still work, but it's different. So all of that, I've been in, I think, 3 or 4 web series for 50 Degree Productions Network, Mr. Paul. But so
Wow, that's awesome.
yeah.
Now, did you oh, just to go back for a second, after this is over, we in this, I want to know who the other people were who dressed up in that play.
Okay,
I want to
I will
know who.
definitely. I'll tell you. And I love y'all. You know, I got your back, homies. You know, I got you.
Uh-huh, right,
But I'll
right.
definitely, I'll express that later. That's fine. No problem.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. So, when you talked about the web series, can you tell us more about that? Did you have to rehearse for it? Was it something somebody you knew that made the connection? How did that come about?
Yeah, a little bit of both.
Okay.
One of my best friend actually auditioned for this show. I think back in 2014, 15 in
Hmm.
Atlanta. He actually got cast for it. And when they started filming, you know, they wrapped and they were starting to build off of that in like season 2 and season 3. So I was looking at different castings and he told me about some, and there was one that I submitted for. He said, "It's not really on the lines, you know, but I'm looking for someone can do it." And I said, "Okay, fine." And that's another thing that helped break me out of my shell because I had to. It was the craziest part.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, on that level.
Okay.
I I had a few lines. It was great, but I think an exotic dancer who ended up owing some money to someone and then didn't get them their money on time, and they were like, "Oh, you're not paying me?" Like took me out and everything, like
Hmm.
within the episode. So it was my first and last episode of that,
Right.
or what have you. But yeah, so I'll get the castings. I do know the director and the writer and a few other castmates as well. Uh,
Hmm.
but I still do the work. It's not like because I know you, that means I'm just got a free ticket in. Um,
Right.
and so I've had to do, of course, auditions where I do self tapes and I'm sent sides and submit. And of course, you do your headshots, you submit those, send in a resume of what you've done. And sometimes you get a call back. Sometimes I say, okay, I saw this, let me see something else. And so after that, I ended up doing a character where I ended up playing an attorney. My name was Ken Whitfield on the
Okay.
series Bondage. So I did that for a couple of seasons, a few episodes, and then most recently I went on to another Big Three Productions Network project, which was In the Nick of Time, where I played an undercover cop. Um, so that was really different because it was like I started out doing this and then I'm doing this, but it made me kind of force myself to kind of study. I had another buddy of mine who's an attorney, so I would go like take notes and like look at how he, you know, his stance and you know certain things like that and the
Hmm.
differences. But yeah, but once you know I got offered the part, I was sent the scripts and I study them. I study them, highlight my stuff, old fashioned, you know. And
Hmm.
I have to print mine out though. I can't just look at it on the device. Like I need to be able to see it. I want to highlight it. I want to study it,
Hmm.
and then I'll take it with me when we go film because it takes like depending on the project, it takes a day, sometimes 2 days, depending on you know the film schedule. So sometimes you get in there and boom, it's done. But then it's the you know the hurry up and wait. Like my scene isn't until 9 a.m., but they have a call time of like 6 a.m. for like
Mm.
you know getting your costume together or you know whatever. Okay, we're moving here and going to this location. So, um, but yeah, so that's kind of the process there, and then we'll do like a run through like a few of the other actors and myself, actresses. We'll just kind of
Mhm.
rehearse, run the lines. Sometimes we called each other, and we'll kind of run it and do a practice, and we'll shoot it.
Mhm.
So that's usually how that goes.
That's all awesome. Now, do you have a one that you prefer? Do you enjoy acting? My like, if you had to choose just one,
Oh man,
could you
you
do it?
you would ask me that, wouldn't you?
Of
Uh,
course.
I enjoy acting. I really do.
Hmm.
Um, Acting takes a little bit more work for me, though. I'll be honest with you. I
Hmm.
feel like I can do it, but it takes more of me digging within myself, trying to, find. And that I love that. Who's this character? What are they doing? What's going on? Um, Modeling, that's cool. I like it. I enjoy it. Um, you know, depends on booking and casting, but I think dance, it will always just be naturally in my heart. Like if I had to pick one thing, though, I don't. That would be it. I really feel like that. Yeah.
Now they're both like with modeling, well, especially dancing. They're both like physically, well, not modeling so much, I guess, but dancing is like physically grueling. So how do you prepare? I keep going back to dance.
No,
This
it's
is
cool. It's cool. I'm
okay.
gonna get you up and dancing at some point soon,
No,
though.
you won't. You can try.
No, no, no. It takes a lot of work. It takes, like I said earlier, depends on like what someone wants or what I want or what have you. But it's about what you consume,
Hmm.
what you put in your body, staying hydrated, and then even physically having to push yourself even further than where you were before. Like I mentioned earlier, with like the modern pieces and stuff like that.
Hmm.
I've done stretches I had never done just regularly, like doing hip hop and stuff. But you always want to stay warm and stay stretched. But I'll do oftentimes my warm up consists of like aerobics, so like house music. I
Hmm.
will like just build up my cardio just from like house music, songs that are like extended, like 6, 8, 9, 10 minutes long, just to prepare. That's just a warm up. And
Hmm.
then when I go into the dancing, choreographing, okay, I know what I want in my head, then I'm gonna flush it out and do it. And then sometimes if it doesn't work, I say, okay, I'll take a break. I go back to the drawing board. Okay, this isn't working. But I'm still stretching, I'm still breathing, trying to get myself together. But it's definitely grueling. You have to learn a conditioning, which is, breath control,
Hmm.
so you're not like, oh my God, I'm so tired. You're on stage, like,
Hmm.
you know, if you can't handle that, then I would suggest not doing it because, when you do it and you rehearse it, it becomes just second nature. And it's
Hmm.
funny because we've ran numbers before where we do it completely without music. We just do it what we remember and the movements themselves. And if you ever sit in on something like that, you hear just this breathing that's just like, but
Right.
you have to learn how to control your breathing as well, so you're not exhausting yourself or getting so tired. But it's very grueling. You have to stretch and and something too that I had done, like what I said about spiritually, uh, doing modern dance. I did something I had never done before, which was another thing that broke me out of my shell, but I don't regret it. I danced barefoot for the first time a few
Mhm.
years ago, and
Okay.
so you don't have the shoes to help grip you, like to keep you, you're really just focusing on your body, your feet, your legs themselves. So that's another dynamic that people may not think about either. Stage, even that takes extra balance, control, stuff like that. So, but yeah, what you eat, what you put in your body,
Hmm.
how you take care of yourself. I'm bad at this. I'm trying to get better at sleeping, better. I'm okay at sleeping, but it's just been so busy with everything going on. It's trying to, but it's definitely you build up a tolerance. Um, you get used to it.
Okay, like you said, you started when you were, young, 4 or 5 years old. So, I mean,
Yeah,
you have the lungs already built up for that, have the capacity and everything.
that's what that's what I've been told. I'm still thankful. I try to take care of what I got because it's only one me, you know. So
Mhm.
I'm thankful to that God has kept me going. I thought about it honestly in the last few years, and it's been over 3 decades. Like it's crazy when I think about the whole percentage, like time, and it
Mhm.
doesn't feel like I've learned so much and done so much. But I pray that I can continue to learn if it's in God's will.
Right. So do you still have anything like on your to-do list? All
Yes,
right.
I do
Okay.
actually. I want to get more into writing. Um,
Okay.
I've always written throughout the years anyway. A couple of my pieces have been published in certain publications here and there, but I definitely want to write a screenplay, like short stories, take my story and turn it into a film. I'm in the process now. I actually told me to think about this. I actually want to put together a documentary. Uh, I won't say quite what it is yet. Uh,
Okay.
that's been on my to-do list. Um, uh, just learning, like I said, want to do more as far as even if it's like producing, writing. I don't have to necessarily, like I like it all. I love all of it is so much work, and I appreciate everyone who does everything. It's not just about people on stage that just everyone makes things happen. Whether
Right.
you know, dance, like photographer, travel person, setting this up, charting nutritionist, diet, whatever it is. Like
Mhm.
everyone makes so it's not just one thing.
Right. It's a team effort. What or who would you credit your success to?
And that's funny that you say that because I've never really thought of myself as a success. Um, thank you,
What?
and I appreciate it. It's funny that you make me think now.
Mm.
Uh, like just generally like one person or like just
Just
whatever.
overall, like, like if you go back and look and you say, like you could say the teacher who, had you on stage as the penguin, that
She's one of
inspired
them.
you. Right.
Because I had to start from somewhere and I had to grow.
Mhm.
But definitely my family have
Mhm.
been very instrumental, very, very
Mhm.
instrumental because they always provided an environment to create and to nurture and love what they were very supportive of everything.
Mhm.
My brother went to the military. My mom was so say cried, but she was like, "I'm it's best for you. It's your life." You know,
Mhm.
and came back and married something hard and what have you. So whatever she gave us, my parents gave us, to uh, do what we wanted to do. We were going to work hard at it. Nothing is
Mhm.
earned, you
Right.
know, what you do. And so it's a collect. It's so many people. Um, but mostly I'm thankful, to God for making all of it possible. But I'm
Mhm.
telling you, Crystal, so many people have looked out for me. So many people have given me opportunities. So many people, I'm thankful they they see something in me, and because of that, I see in myself. If that makes sense.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I'm just thankful to Alan Looks and Silver Creations, Project, and Ready to Dance, and Ellis Crown. The last theater productions that I've done. It's just they're like, oh, you can do this. I see you have this. Now it takes me to be like, okay, say so, and then I'll just kind of go work at it. But I credit, my family, my circle, my support, to everybody that inspires me. And I'm from the old school too. So I mean, Debbie Allen and Gregory Hines and Ben
Mhm.
Vereen and Savion Glover and I've already said the Jacksons, Michael, Janet Jackson, just generations of
Right.
inspiration.
Right. That's beautiful. Okay. Is there anything else you would like to tell us? Anything you want to share? How we can find out more about your every move and step and all your successes and wins?
I do want to say, I wouldn't be where I am. I mean, if I'm not like on that type of platform. Like, I'm so thankful to my family and my friends, my circle, my back home family, and all of the supporters people on Facebook, social media. They have been amazing. When I found out I was nominated, they came through. They helped nominate. They voted. Oh, Marcus, you're doing this. I'm going to support you. Or hey, you need a donation. I'm going to like. I would not be again. The other people inspire me, but they push me forward. And so I'm just thankful to everybody who's tuning in. Thank you so much for your support, forever and always. I really appreciate you more than you know. Um, you help build me up and make me try and create and go every day. And so I'm thankful for that. But yes, just be on the lookout. I'm actually I was asked to join the ACE Awards Ambassadors Council. So that happened officially in January. So we're
Congrats.
working together to put together the ACE Awards. So the
Okay.
nominees have been reached out to. So vote, vote, vote. I'll make a post about that at some point soon too.
Hmm.
That award show is going to be Juneteenth weekend in Greensboro, I believe. So if you want to come out support all the talented people up for I think 16 different nominations this year. So that's going on. I have some couple scripts I'm reading right now.
Okay.
Uh, so filming, I think maybe in mid to late summer.
Okay.
So I'm looking at that, and I've actually been asked to join uh, my friend Kim, who has her own dance studio, is having a potential dance workshop, and so hopefully I can be a part of that dance fusion now in the fall. So hopefully I can help her out with that. So got a few things coming up.
All right, that's awesome. See, success. And like I said, I want to celebrate that
Yeah,
success. You know, all
thank
these
you,
wins, boom, boom, wins, wins, wins everywhere. So I
thank you.
wanted to acknowledge it, wanted to celebrate it, let the community know what was going on,
Yeah,
all the great things that are happening for people who live in Warren County and from Warren County.
yes, and
So
thank you to Warren County too, because I'm telling you, I'm so thankful from where I'm from. You know, the Hollister, Warren County area. Um, Miss Coleman helped me a great deal, and I didn't want to think I was going to leave anyone out, but like even the band, like the Dynamic Marching Machine,
mm,
Taylor Whitehead showed me so much about discipline and work, and being able to even go back and dance for auxiliary, excuse me, homecoming, last year and then a couple years before that
mm,
for band. So Warren County will always have a special place in my heart, and that will never change. So thank you, Warren County, um, for continuing and flourishing. I'm like, they're opening up new shops now and they got the restaurants, and I'm like, man, I don't have a chance to come back like that, but
mm,
it's game on when I do make it. So yeah, I definitely want to check
yeah.
that out. But yeah, be on the lookout for those few things, and I hope to see you and talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much
Oh,
for your support.
yeah, absolutely. And then the next time you're in Warrenton or Warren County, let me know.
I definitely will. We're
Um,
gonna have to dance. I'm just teasing.
I'll dance around that answer.
I like that. I like that. No,
But thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so glad we was trying to make this work, and I had technical snafus and all that
you're
stuff, but
good. You're
we
good. You
still
got to keep
did.
on rolling. Keep on
Keep
going.
on
That's what
rolling.
you
We
do.
sure did. We
You
sure
do.
did. So
So kudos.
thank
Thank you so much.
yeah. So thank you. So don't hang up yet because I want to know who the two people were.
Oh, okay. I got
Yeah.
you. I got
But
you.
thank you all so much for tuning in.
Yeah.
Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and also on our YouTube channel at The Warrenist. See you all soon. Have a wonderful weekend. All right,
Take
take care.
care.
All right,
Y'all be
bye.
good. Thank you.